and we are going to go out to London, and we are going to talk to Mr. British. Hey, Mr. British. You're on with Secularity and Forrest Valkai, and Forrest actually has a question for you, so he would love if you could answer this directly, please.
Yeah, Mr. British, in your worldview, is homosexuality immoral?
Well, I'm a Muslim, so yes, it is.
Okay, well there we go. Okay, see,
that was quick.
Yes,
thank you.
I was convinced. I was convinced that you were a different guy, and I just wanted to make sure we got that out the gate right away,
folks. Skeptics,
it's real fucking easy to do.
Thank you. Thank you. And we know that's not what you're calling in about, and we do disagree with that, but thank you for being able to answer that and just showing others that it is possible to answer that. Now, Mr. British, you have a question for us, so we will let you get to that. What do you got for us, brother?
Is atheism appropriating the word theist inappropriately?
What could that possibly mean?
Yeah.
It's a real
it's an interesting question.
We're theists, right? We believe in a God.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't believe in a God. What would you call me?
So therefore I am a theist. Yes, against theism. I am without theism, so I am atheist. Yes.
Right. On the other side of theism.
Yes, precisely.
Yeah. Seems pretty.
Can't you use it? Can't you explain your beliefs without God?
Secular humanist, but that doesn't tell you whether or not I'm an atheist, right?
Precisely.
If somebody tells me they are a believer in a God, and I say that really when it comes to moral conversations, what I believe is that humans have no indication that any supernatural entity is going to come down and give us a clear direction as to how to suss out these kind of weird fuzzy bits on the end. And ultimately, I think that we should, engage with each other in such a way that, takes account of well-being and flourishing. That doesn't have anything to do with what the other person just said. They said, "Hi, my name's Mr. British, and I believe in a God." And my response would be, "Hi, I'm Secularity. I don't." And so that's why the term atheist. So the further conversation, secular humanist, skeptic, all that jazz. But
I just want to throw out there that the best comment of the entire show thus far comes from Trevor Belmont, who just put in the chat, "What's burdens of Bruce Precious?" That's so good. That's so good. Mr. British, so do you understand everything that Elliot was just talking about? Like, does that make sense to you?
Have I been muted all this time?
No, we've just been talking, and if you were trying to talk in the middle of us talking, I would just say that most people would consider that to be rude. So we just, continued with until we finished. But now we'll give you time if you'd like to respond to what we just said. We'll give you some time here.
You took a lot of offense at the previous caller, Royal Trans Atheist, when he used the word trans.
Yeah, are you going to answer the question, or are you going to try to divert?
Offense?
Yeah, I guess.
Are you going to answer the question, or are you going to try to divert to some other thing?
Right. I'm not positive why you would want to have a conversation about anything other than like your own life and your thoughts. Right. Like you talked to a human being. I know because I do call screening myself. So I know what that process was like for you. It couldn't have been 30 seconds. It had to have taken at least a couple of minutes. I'm confused as to why you would do all of that and then sit in the queue for 26 minutes to go, "Well, I think you said some not so great things a few calls ago." That's just a weird choice, man. We genuinely wanted to have this conversation because I think both of us were intrigued by this question and wanted to pick your brain a little. We tried talking with Royal. You saw how that went. You really crushed him in about 2 seconds by just answering the fucking question. Would you like to continue down
miles
that path?
Ahead of that dude.
Yeah, seriously. This call's going great so far.
Compared to that dude, oh my god.
So would you like to actually the three of us talk about what you believe and what we believe, or do you just want to come on to defend your friend Royal? Because you can. Sort of, because I'll probably just drop you. Yeah. So.
Because Forrest, you said that that science proves that people are born gay. What science have you been reading?
So that is the plan then? Is that
you
you're
just
going to
want to
completely
rehash that?
You're going to completely ditch the thing that you called about and the thing that we were talking about, so you can dig into what the other caller was talking about. Is that what we're doing?
It just feels a little dishonest, you know?
Nah, kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely interested.
Well, I'm genuinely interested in your question about is atheism appropriating the word theist? And so because you're not the individual who over 26 years ago started a nonprofit organization in Austin, Texas, and then ultimately created a public access show that would eventually become this show that Forrest and I are on right now, why don't we talk about the thing you called about?
Answer the question.
I would like you to answer a question for me, actually.
Right. I think you should answer the question.
You've answered. I've answered your question, and you've answered.
You have a different question.
No, you fucking didn't. You just completely.
Yeah,
you just completely went off on another path, man. So don't pretend like we just forgot what happened 30 seconds ago. Neither of us are that fucking stupid. But
I have a question. For Mr. British. You said you're a. I seem to remember talking to you before. You said you're a doctor, right?
No. I think you've got me mistaken with someone else.
Some other dude. Okay, cool. So between you and me, then let's. You don't have to be a doctor to get this reference, but like, if a disease is showing symptoms, we would call that symptomatic, right? Mm-hmm. Have you heard that term before? Something is symptomatic.
I've heard of symptomatic. Yeah.
Okay, cool. If a disease doesn't show any symptoms, what word would you use to describe that disease?
If a disease doesn't show any symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What word would you use to describe such a thing?
Symptomless.
Okay, but so the word is asymptomatic.
Yeah.
But even symptomless, even symptomless has the words. Even symptomless has the word symptom in it. So is that appropriating the word symptom in an unnecessary way?
Why don't you just call yourself secularist?
I don't understand why you have trouble with hearing Forrest. I'm not positive what the issue is. Maybe there was a breakdown on the line. Hey, Forrest, what was that question again?
Yeah. Why do you think that having symptomless or asymptomatic or anything like that describe a disease that doesn't show symptoms is appropriating and mischaracterizing the word symptom? Do you think that that's reasonable to say?
I think that there's a connotation with the word atheist, which contains the word theist. Why would you want?
I would love yourself. Yes, and the word asymptomatic contains the word symptom. So, do you think that the word asymptomatic is, as you put it, appropriating the word symptom?
Well, I use the word symptomless. Firstly, okay.
Do you think the
word symptomless, which isn't a fucking word, do you think the word symptomless is appropriating the word symptom?
Well, symptomless isn't a person, okay? Symptomless isn't a person.
So it sounds like what you're saying is, no, Forrest, I don't think the term symptomless or the term asymptomatic, which is actually a term.
A word, yes.
Yeah, I don't think either of those things are doing the thing that I'm somehow claiming atheism is doing with the word theism. So it seems like you're being inconsistent.
I also want to point out, like, you're right. Asymptomatic isn't a person. It's a descriptor. It's describing a state of being. Atheist isn't a person. It's describing a state of being. No. I don't believe in a deity. Therefore, I am described as an atheist, just as a disease that doesn't show symptoms is described as asymptomatic, right? So do you think that the word symptom in symptomless or asymptomatic shouldn't be there and we should find another term for it? Or do you think that you can use a term to describe whether or not something possesses a particular quality?
I think there's some double standards here, because when the previous caller used the word,
I mean, I agree, you are presenting them, but what double standards are you talking about?
Look, the issue is pretty clear. Okay.
I thought
the
so.
irony is you identify yourself as an atheist, but that uses God. Do you not understand that?
So
why don't you just use
let
the word secular?
me try a different thing. You like if I told you I don't believe in the Dark Lord Sauron from the Lord of the Rings, and therefore I am mentioning Sauron in my description of what I don't believe in. Is that in some way co-opting and appropriating Sauronism?
Yeah.
In my view, you could use a better choice for word.
Like what? Like, how the fuck else do you say you don't believe in the Dark Lord Sauron without mentioning the Dark Lord Sauron? I'm confused.
Yes.
Like, help me out with this. Seriously, Mr. British. What else would we do?
You can use the word secularist.
For the disbelief in the Dark Lord Sauron? Stay with the analogy. There's a reason he chose it.
Why not? Why can't you use the word secularist?
To describe a disbelief in the Dark Lord Sauron. Does the word secularist have anything to do with that, man? This is really particular. There's a reason he used this analogy.
The irony is, you talk about God so...
I'm not positive you know what the definition of the word irony is, okay?
Yeah,
because you've said it multiple times, and then the things that you've pointed out as being ironic are not. One could say they are ironic, although, just like symptomless, that's not a fucking word, man. So again... Let's go back to this, which I really believe is very simple. I really, really do. Forrest said, hey, somebody comes up to him and describes a really particular version of a god of some kind. And then Forrest says, hey, I don't believe in that really particular version of a god that you just described. How else could one give that indication without reference to that very particular god that the first person say they believe in? Does that make sense? Is that a fair question?
I've just checked the dictionary and it contains the word symptomless.
Okay, neat. I'm glad you spent that much time.
Forrest, you're right. On that note, atheism is over. Thank you so much, Mr. British.
I have two questions before we let Mr. British go.
Please.
Mr. British, what is the definition of secularism?
What is the definition of secularism?
You got the dictionary, apparently, so...
Yeah, let's just
help
check.
us out.
What? Who's got the dictionary out? Did you say you've got the dictionary?
You said you just fucking looked up the goddamn word. Just do the same thing over again, just with secularism, man.
What is your personal definition? I don't care. What does the word secularism mean?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, don't say that. That means you believe in it. Yes.
Hold on. I looked up the word symptomless, okay? It doesn't mean I have the dictionary.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Could not give
secularism
less of a shit
definition. Hey, Forrest.
Yeah, thank you, Elliot. Thank you.
Here's one. The principle of separation of the state from religious institutions. Here's another one. Not in reference to a god or gods. There are two different definitions for you, Forrest.
What does the word atheist mean? Could you look that one up for me really quick?
Oh, let's see here. Let's just quick
just double check that one for me.
Let's just go definition here. A person who disbelieves or lacks belief in the existence of God or gods.
Just that one thing, huh? Like that's pretty much the straightforward answer to it. So there's your answer, Mr. British, that secularism also references religions and spirituality and things. So it does the same thing that you don't want us to do. And also it's a little bit less concise. And so we just like atheists because it's very commonly used. It's kind of colloquial at this point. And so we use it. And what you're doing by making this argument is the same dumb shit that people do when they say that scientists shouldn't talk about theories anymore because so many people misunderstand what the word theory means. So we need to come up with another word. Or Or
so
when people
tough.
say that us believing that anything exists is borrowing from the theistic worldview because God made things and you can't know. It's that same level of just absolute vapid nothingness. It's just a word, and us using the word doesn't have any inherent meaning to like our state within our belief system. It's just a commonly used word, and your argument is like really, really, really boring.
Yeah. Any other anything else you want to say, Forrest? Otherwise I'm gonna let Mr. British go.
No, I'll go a little further just in case. Just let me give me 1 second.
All right, I muted you, Mr. British, so I'm bringing you back on. I want you to
respond to what I just said.
Yeah, Forrest laid out some pretty good stuff. I thought pretty easy to follow.
Yeah. Can I respond?
What you thinking? Yeah.
Can I respond?
Yep.
Yes.
Go for it.
May I respond?
Jesus, flying fuck, yes, man.
Okay, so I agree completely with your points that this appropriation of the word atheist completely proves the point when you absolutely went bonkers with the other caller when they used the word trans-atheist. Why? I
don't think like he's responding to anything you're saying, Forrest. I think throughout the last few minutes, as you put a great amount of thought and time into doing your response, I believe throughout that whole process, Mr. British might have been sitting there with his thumb up his ass and just, I don't know, gazing at his own navel. That's frustrating, man. That's frustrating.
It's bizarre.
You know? I know.
It is bizarre.
Anything else you want to say to this person before we drop him?
Yeah, just I mean, like what it gets me like because like this I like the fact that this guy said that he's a Muslim at the beginning of the call because I really want people to see, because I get a lot of comments from people saying like, oh well, you don't talk the same way about Muslims as you do as Christians. No, like I want you to see that like the thought process is the exact fucking same. The arguments that we get from two crowds are the fucking same. One's got a magic carpenter from Bethlehem, one's got a magic pedophile from Mecca, and other than that, the exact same jokes, the exact same arguments, the exact same bullshit. I don't get it, dude. Like it's literally, why are you upset over word? Or why do you use words? That's it's the Matt Powell argument of like, well, if you say it's natural selection, then someone must be selecting something. That's otherwise, why would you use the word? That's the argument. And like, you don't get why we would have an issue with some guy like big. We didn't even like really hound the guy about the word trans.
Not really.
We just talked about it, and then we moved on to the next thing. And then the dude couldn't find a brain to answer a yes or no question. So like, that was the call. And you got so hung up on that you had to call in and give us this fucking weird ass like roundabout thing about why are you using words? And just to get to the point where you're like, well, he can say trans. It's like, yeah, nobody fucking said he couldn't. You just weren't paying attention, and you made an argument out of nothing, out of a problem that didn't exist, and now you've wasted 18 minutes of your time, and we're making money off of it. You are supporting the atheist cause by being so fucking boring, and I don't get how you don't see that, dude.
Yeah. But I do appreciate you hanging on throughout that whole time there, Mr. British, because I really wanted to make sure we didn't let you go before you heard it. But now that you have, thank you so much. And, I don't know. I guess call back sometime.
Or don't. Or fucking don't.
Yeah, seriously, it's fine. We'll be okay.
Read a different book and then call back.
Like, could you imagine, just like real quick, you guys, could you imagine if in person, like the three of us were having this conversation that just occurred, and then like after you going through this like intense 5 minutes of like breaking everything down and like highlighting the nuances and giving good explanations and so forth, and the person just responds with you like, yeah, but I think you talking to that guy 10 minutes ago was an issue. You'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, are you okay, man? Like, are you having a stroke? Like,
it's so weird. It's so deeply weird.
I know, right?